Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, if you're navigating the modern world, you probably know this feeling all too well. It's that seamless, self-perpetuating cycle, where mounting anxiety just relentlessly chews away at your sleep quality.
Yeah, and then the lack of sleep just spikes your stress even higher the next day.
Exactly. You end up in this state of just perpetual, exhausting restlessness.
It really can feel like a trap, and millions of us are caught in it.
It's the ultimate negative feedback loop, isn't it?
It really is. The chemical signals of stress, they become the barrier to rest.
And then the fact you can't rest makes you even more reactive to stress.
Finding a solution that actually interrupts this cycle, one that promotes, both mental clarity and physical restoration, well, that's a major focus for anyone seeking long-term well-being.
Right. And that's why today we're doing a deep dive into a tool that I think is often misunderstood, maybe just seen as guided relaxation.
Guided meditation.
Exactly. Yeah. Guided meditation. Our sources define it as a powerful kind of holistic approach.
Yeah, basically where a guide leads you through specific visualization, certain exercises.
The design not just to calm your mind, but to actively regulate your physical body.
That's the key difference.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission today is really to move past those superficial definitions.
Right.
We're jumping into the actual scientific evidence. The practical strategies that show guided meditation is, well, less about some quiet spiritual retreat.
And much more about measurable physiological regulation.
Yeah. This could be the shortcut you've been looking for, to manage anxiety and dramatically improve sleep quality.
And that physiological regulation part, that's where the science gets really solid, I think. When people feel helpless against stress, it's usually because they feel sort of powerless against that internal biochemical cascade, that fight or flight thing going 24/7.
So if I'm reading the core research correctly, the struggle to quiet the mind, it's often just a symptom.
It can be, yeah.
And the core problem is that the body itself is just refusing to power down.
Precisely. That internal refusal, it's governed by something called the HPA axis. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis.
Okay.
It's basically your body's central command for the stress response. And when that HPA axis is constantly firing due to chronic stress or anxiety, it just floods the system with a specific hormone.
And here's that specific evidence-backed detail that really makes this a deep dive for us. Studies consistently show that regular guided meditation significantly lowers circulating cortisol levels.
Yeah. And what's fascinating here is really understanding the mechanism behind that drop.
Right.
Cortisol is critical, we need it, but when it's chronically elevated, it's basically signaling danger all the time.
So it raises heart rate.
Increases muscle tension.
Yeah.
Keeps your brain in that hypervigilant state. And that state is fundamentally incompatible with initiating deep sleep.
Okay, so by introducing a practice like guided meditation, one that consciously downregulates that HPA axis, you're almost physically forcing your body out of that high alert mode.
Exactly. It's like a direct biological countermeasure.
It is. Think of it less like thinking yourself calm and maybe more like wiring the circuit board.
That's a good way to put it. This is often linked to stimulating the vagus nerve.
Ah, the vagus nerve.
Yeah, it's a key component of the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the system responsible for rest and digest.
Okay.
So when you engage in focused, guided meditations, especially the kind with rhythmic breathing, you actually activate that vagus nerve.
And that activation sends the signal.
Well,
like emergency over?
Pretty much, yeah. All clear. It reduces heart rate variability, promotes emotional stability, it calms things down.
That makes the benefit really clear then. Lowering cortisol, activating the vagus nerve, that provides the necessary biological state, that state of calm that you absolutely need for sleep onset.
It just becomes genuinely easier to fall asleep.
And presumably enjoy deeper, more restorative slumber, too.
Right. The initial benefit is definitely getting you to sleep more quickly, but, the long-term impact, that can be even more profound.
Okay, that brings us perfectly to the next point. So, moving beyond just the immediate help with falling asleep, what actually happens to the architecture of sleep itself? Once you've been practicing consistently.
Right.
Because this is where the benefits really seem to compound over time. The sources point to long-term sustained benefits that fundamentally change how you sleep.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, like chronic health, Improved sleep architecture is really the gold standard.
Okay.
Meta-analyses are showing that regular meditation helps to regulate and adjust your natural circadian rhythms.
So your internal body clock.
Exactly. And this isn't just theory, it translates into specific measurable changes. We see decreased sleep latency.
Which is the time it takes you to fall asleep.
Correct. And crucially, increased total time spent in those really important restorative phases. Deep sleep, or slow wave sleep, and REM sleep.
So you're not just lying there kind of drifting in stage 1 or stage 2 light sleep for hours.
Yeah.
You're actually getting the structural, physical rest that you need for things like memory consolidation, tissue repair.
Mm-hmm. And reducing the frequency of those really frustrating middle-of-the-night awakenings, too.
That's huge.
It is. You stop using meditation just as a tool to unwind at the end of the day.
And start seeing it more as, what, a long-term solution.
Yeah, for physiological self-regulation, making sure the quality of your sleep is genuinely restorative, not just passive time in bed.
Okay. Now, for anyone listening who's ready to actually try this, guided meditation is kind of an umbrella term, right? It covers several different powerful techniques.
That's right.
The sources detail 4 key methods that seem to cater to different needs, and I think it's important to understand why each one is effective.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's start with mindfulness meditation. A lot of people begin there.
Okay.
The core instruction is usually to focus your awareness, typically on the breath, or maybe on present sensations in the body.
Sounds simple.
It sounds simple, but the mechanism is actually quite powerful. What you're doing is disrupting something called cognitive fusion.
Cognitive fusion.
Ah.
Right. That's when we get so tangled up in our thoughts, we start treating them like absolute facts.
Exactly that. When you're anxious, your thoughts race, right?
Mm-hmm.
Often ruminating on past regrets or future worries.
Mm-hmm.
Mindfulness teaches you to just observe those thoughts non-judgmentally, to recognize them as just mental events, not imminent dangers.
So by redirecting your attention, say, to the breath.
You interrupt that rumination cycle, the one that prevents the mind from settling down enough for sleep.
Okay, so that helps quiet the internal chatter. But then there's a different technique that tackles more physical restlessness, the body scan.
Ah, yes, the body scan.
I've always wondered about this one. It sounds, frankly, almost a bit tedious. Systematically noticing your big toe, then your ankle. How does just noticing body parts help you fall asleep?
It's surprisingly effective because physical tension is often stored unconsciously. You might not even realize it's there.
Where typically
Often in the jaw, shoulders, the core. The body scan is really an exercise in interoception.
interoception, awareness of the internal state of the body.
Precisely. By systematically focusing your attention, you essentially shine a spotlight on where that tension resides. And that awareness allows you to consciously command those muscles to release.
Ah, okay, so it's like a controlled release of pent-up physical energy.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Easing you into that deep relaxation state where the body can finally signal, okay, safe to enter sleep mode now.
That makes sense. Then the third approach involves visualization and deep breathing.
Right. This technique often involves picturing a deeply calming environment. Maybe a beach, a forest, whatever works for you.
While also practicing slow, deep, controlled breathing, like that 4-7-8 breathing pattern people talk about.
Exactly like that. Or similar rhythmic breathing.
Yeah.
That combination is a really powerful nervous system reset.
How so?
Well, the visualization gives your mind a break, right? It detaches you from the immediate, maybe overwhelming stressors of the day. Meanwhile, that controlled diaphragmatic breathing that maximizes vagus nerve stimulation.
Back to the vagus nerve.
Back to the vagus nerve. It rapidly calms the central nervous system. So you get this dual action soothing mechanism working together.
Visualization for the mind, breathing for the body.
Pretty much. And finally, the sources also highlight using affirmations or mantras within guided sessions.
Okay, this sounds more about reinforcing a positive psychological state before rest.
It is. And it's particularly critical for people who struggle with those self-critical or intrusive thoughts right as they're trying to fall asleep.
Yeah, the brain won't shut up problem.
Exactly. Affirmations use positive reinforcement, repeating phrases like, I am safe, I am restful, or my mind is quiet, things like that.
And the purpose is
To counteract those habitual negative thought patterns, it proactively reinforces a restful mindset. It's like you're gently programming your subconscious for serenity before sleep.
Interesting. Okay, so if you're listening and ready to actually put these techniques into practice, let's pivot to the practical side. How do you integrate this? Because the sources are really clear on one thing.
Consistency.
Consistency is absolutely non-negotiable. It seems far more important than how long you sit there meditating each time.
That is the key piece of guidance, definitely. You don't need to carve out like 45 minutes every single evening. That's often overwhelming.
So start small.
Start small. The general recommendation is maybe 5 to 10-minute sessions daily.
Just 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah. And what's incredibly motivating, especially for beginners, is that many people report noticeable improvements in anxiety levels, in sleep quality, within just a few weeks of that kind of regular practice.
Wow, just a few weeks. Okay, what about timing? When's the best time to do it?
The sources usually recommend 2 optimal windows. One is early morning.
Why morning?
It helps set a calm, sort of non-reactive tone for the entire day ahead.
Okay.
And the other, or probably the most popular choice, right before bedtime, to really maximize that unwinding process we talked about.
Makes sense. And environment, does that matter much?
Oh, absolutely. Regardless of timing, the environment matters. You really have to commit just for those few minutes to creating a peaceful, distraction-free space.
So dim lights, maybe?
Dim lighting, comfortable posture, whether you're sitting or lying down, and definitely leave the phone somewhere else.
Unless you're using it for the guided session itself, obvious.
Right, unless it's the tool. But turn off other notifications. Minimize interruptions.
Good advice. And this brings us to something really important, a critical caveat we absolutely have to address before we wrap up. While guided meditation is clearly powerful, generally very safe, and a valuable complementary strategy for stress and sleep,
it is not a clinical treatment replacement. That's crucial.
So this practice should not be used instead of professional clinical care.
No. Not for diagnosed chronic sleep disorders like severe insomnia or for something like generalized anxiety disorder. It works best alongside those treatments as an enhancement.
Right. So if you're experiencing really severe, maybe debilitating distress or chronic sleep loss that's impacting your life, the foundation has to be professional help.
That's absolutely correct. Guided meditation is designed to support your overall well-being, and it can enhance the effectiveness of traditional treatments.
Right.
But it is not a substitute for prescribed medication or specific medical advice.
Always best to consult a healthcare provider.
Always, to make sure you have a comprehensive, tailored approach that's right for your specific health situation.
Okay. And for those who are ready to start exploring, maybe trying out those 4 techniques we discussed, mindfulness, body scan, visualization, affirmations, the research points to several really user-friendly apps out there. They offer guided sessions specifically tailored for anxiety reduction and sleep improvement.
Yeah, there's some great resources. Popular ones people might know are Headspace, Calm Insight Timer.
Right. And these provide accessible scripts, different guides, different voices.
Exactly. So you can find a style and a voice that resonates best with you personally.
Makes sense. Those platforms really do make the entry point incredibly low barrier, don't they?
They do. You could literally start today without feeling overwhelmed by it all.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the core takeaways from this deep dive for you, the listener. First, guided meditation works because it physiologically dampens that HPA axis response.
Right. Specifically lowering cortisol, which directly promotes calm and significantly aids sleep onset.
Second, over the long term, consistency, even just those 5 or 10 minutes daily, actually helps adjust your internal body clock, your circadian rhythms,
leading to genuinely improved deep sleep and REM sleep architecture, better quality rest.
This knowledge, I think, is profoundly empowering.
It really is, because it takes the fuzzy concept of relaxation and roots it in solid, scientific, measurable change in your body.
You're not just hoping to feel better.
No, you're actively adopting a sustainable pathway to manage stress, promote deep biological rest, and ultimately improve both your mental and physical health.
Okay, so the final, maybe provocative thought we want to leave you with today is this. You now understand the research. You know that you don't have to just be a passive recipient of the world's stress.
By consistently engaging with these techniques, even briefly,
You're leveraging your own biology. You're cultivating a more serene, more restful life. You're moving from being maybe a victim of anxiety.
to becoming an active agent of your own calm.
Exactly. And the impact of that tiny, maybe 10-minute daily commitment, it will likely ripple out across every single aspect of your waking life.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.